NewGenGamers.com.
Alright everybody, now we're going to play some of these games. We're going to start off here with the Sega 6-pack, which is basically a compilation of all of the good early games for the Sega Genesis. And we'll start off with Sonic the Hedgehog here, since this is the most well-known one. Sega!
From Sonic a Team.
Dun, 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 dun. Alright.
So this game was released in 1991 as a Super Mario killer.
Which, it actually ended up being for a while there, because Sonic had that edgy image over here in America.
Well, it had blast processing.
Oh, they didn't start promoting that until Sonic 2.
That's true, and that's what kept you with the series. Now, we start with this game because this is when the Sega Genesis really caught everyone's eye, I think, at least significantly here in America. So, if you want to tell us about Ray Kalinsky. Ray Tennant.
Tom Kalinske?
My bad.
That's okay. And, you know, old CEOs, sometimes you forget their names. You were thinking Ray Kassar.
No, I really wasn't.
Okay. But, Ray Kalinsky, or, see, now you got me saying it.
I think his name should have been Ray. But
I have a cold, if you can't tell. Okay, Tom Kalinske was basically the brainchild behind the Sega's marketing in the US. He was the one that took basically a company that had failed with the Master System and turned them into the pretty much competing head-to-head with Nintendo on the console market.
yeah, he became CEO of Sega of America in 1990. So shortly after the Sega Genesis / Sega Mega Drive's release.
So once Kalinske started working for Sega, they really took off. It was his idea to package Sonic with the console and to push it as its premier game, as its mascot, you know, per to say. And it worked out really well for him because Sonic was good to put up against Mario. They really pushed the speed of him, and
The whole game design was literally to make a better game than Super Mario World.
it was built on speed. And unfortunately, there was a little bit of lag there. So, and yes, we are playing this on the original Genesis console, so the lag was just due to the Genesis.
The Genesis is
The blast processing couldn't handle that run.
The blast processing really failed there. And it was things like that. Kalinske came along and tried to create this new image for Sega of being tough and bad and the best thing on the market, which is really what Sega had tried to do previously, but he succeeded in it. And it really did well in their advertising campaigns, and their whole marketing focus was very well structured and very head-to-head. They would call Nintendo out literally with their advertising campaigns.
Oh, it all started with Genesis does what Nintendo don't, and that was like basically what a head-on like you suck, Nintendo.
Yeah, and this guy also helped bring the Welcome to the Next Level campaign, the Sega Scream, which was like I'm not going to do it. Ray will have it in one of the commercials that you'll see in one of these videos.
Pretty much the most infamous line you'll hear is, the Sega!
Yeah, Sega became synonymous with these sounds in these commercials, and most of that was brought to the table by Kalinske. So he was crucial in the Sega Genesis's success in America. And what do you say there? What is the plural of Genesises? We were discussing this beforehand, and I don't think there is one, because Genesis...
Genocide.
Well,
that just sounds bad.
With a Genesis, there is to be only one. So there technically shouldn't be multiple Genesis. Genocide.
Genesis is
so
genocide.
We're not sure how to pronounce that, so we're going to just say whatever we want with that. And if anyone knows, please tell us, but we really don't care. But I would be interested to know, though. So here's the boss battle with Dr. Robotnik.
And it's not Eggman, it's Robotnik. Anyone that calls it Eggman's stupid.
Isn't he technically Eggman, though, worldwide?
They call him Eggman, but seriously, it's Robotnik. That's what we've known him as, and just calling him Eggman's just kind of dumb. It kind of took off his edge. Robotnik sounds like an evil robot. Eggman just sounds like,
he's laying eggs.
Yeah, it looks like he's gonna, pop out chickens or something, So, that was a look at the first level of Sonic the Hedgehog.
The Sega 6-pack.
Alright, we're going to move on to another game in this Sega 6-pack. We're going to try Columns now. This was a unique puzzle game for the Sega Genesis, whereas it wasn't like your standard Tetris that had come out at the time. It was more like Match the Colors.
Yeah, so we'll go ahead and try a two-player battle here.
You can play two-player. You can just hop in at any time.
So this was to compete with Tetris. As you see, it came out in 1990. So it was a cool variation of that, of the block games, and this set the standard for a lot that would come after this game. A lot would be modeled after this, and the two-player aspect definitely was cool, because the original Tetris did not have a multiplayer. And again, we'll talk about the Genesis multiplayer aspects again and again throughout this, because there are so many multiplayer games for this, and it was something they really pushed for.
Oh, it was really great for a multiplayer console. I mean, it had tons of sports games, which we're going to take a look at, that really pushed the multiplayer. There were games like this that did the multiplayer. There were your arcade, like, basically ports, like Streets of Rage, and we've got a Turtles game that's kind of like that. So, you're going to see a lot of multiplayer with this console.
Yeah, comparatively with the Super Nintendo, a lot of the Super Nintendo games were your epic one-player games, where the great games for the Genesis were the multiplayer games.
It's kind of weird how, looking through the ages, you see like each company change their focus on what types of games they put out.
Danita Stokes, president of HAG.
It's bad enough that Sega Genesis has the most 16-bit games, but this new Sonic the Hedgehog, oh, he really does my doilies. They say he's incredibly fast. Well, what's the hurry, mister? And about his attitude. Smarty pants! Why can't it be more like that nice boy Mario? Oh! Little brat!
Sonic the Hedgehog, now included when you buy a Genesis system.
DJGamers.com.